Boom! Welcome back to another EC Toy Reviews. And today is a little bit unexpected of an action figure, something that I don't think anyone else besides me knew this even came out. But at Walmart today, I went out and I saw Lieutenant Titus. You know, right now, those McFarlane Warhammer figures are impossible to get at retail. You'll have to be paying like over like $20 more. Like it's $40 if you get it on eBay and whatnot, because it's got some good customizing potential, and the Joy Toy ones are way too small to even think about comparing with your normal 1/12s. But this right here, my friends, is something that I didn't even expect. Excuse the ghost of the goon out there, but this is, I think, the newer McFarlane Lieutenant Titus. So this one, instead of coming with like the hammer and I believe the knife, or no, it's a hammer and a small gun, he comes with a variety of bolter rifles. Here we have the plasma bolter, the normal like hand like pistol, and then the normal bolter that comes with every single Space Marine. Now, Lieutenant Titus here is similar to the older one in articulation and everything. The only thing that kind of bummed me out is that he does not have any toe joints. Considering Space Marines are always on their high heels, they're jumping, they're, running all the time. So, you can only display them in so many poses. That kind of bummed me out. But this review is going to be pretty quick because I just did not know this was coming out. Now let's start off with reviewing Lieutenant Titus's, detail first. Now, the box comes like this, as we all know. It's Lieutenant Titus, hooray, whatever. But this is the more important part. I don't care about the box. I'm not a big box collector. Now, Lieutenant Titus, of course, will come with his helmet and, of course, his face, which, give me a second, folks, I don't even think I took with me. Here it is. I put them in a separate jar where I keep my action figure accessories. Now, Lieutenant Titus does have a choice for you to have the normal helmet or the face. Now, this face looks uglier than a mug, man. This is an ugly face. So, that is indeed Lieutenant Titus right there. That's him. This looks like Henry Cavill. This is some dude named Greg that you saw at a local deli and is just having a miserable day. But this head sculpt, it's something. It's definitely something. Now, let me raise the stand here so you guys can get a topside view of Mr. Titus, or whatever. Now, Lieutenant Titus, I believe, is the same articulation as the old one, like I said. In the box, this backpack does come separate, so you'll just have to peg that in when you get them. It is pretty far away from the actual body. That's probably to make room for these giant fucking pegs, man. I mean, these giant shoulder pauldrons or whatever, shoulder armor. Now, Lieutenant Titus does not come with any hand accessories, sadly, but he does come with a ton of weapons, like I said. He comes with the plasma bolter, hand gun, and his trademark, I guess, bolter. Now, these things are heavy. This is solid plastic. Now, the detail on this thing is very dull. It is just black, gray, red, gold, and that. There's not even any writing on that, sadly. Now, a lot of Warhammer fans are very big on, detail. That's the whole point of their minis. Now, I'm not an artist. I'm not going to be able to make this look any better, and if I did, I would mess it up so bad, so I'm not even going to try. Now we're going to go on to Lieutenant Titus's articulation. All right, let's start this. Lieutenant Titus does have a head which has 2 joints, 1 joint in the neck and 1 joint at the top. Allows him to look that high up and that far down. Now his pauldrons just, I think, yeah, they're on a ball joint, but it's just pegged out and then it's like, you know, combined to there. So, you know, you'll get as much articulation as that can give you. So just, you know, full round. Now he does come with a elbow swivel. No, not an elbow swivel. Bicep swivel. He has a double jointed elbow, which looks pretty well, but unfortunately it is pinned McFarlane style. But I can't complain. This was $27, about $25 minus taxes. He does have some detail, you know, cracks on his pauldrons. Same thing here. You know, that's kind of what the joint looks like in there. It's not a ball joint on each side. It's just like that kind of weird mechanism. He does have that swivel there, double jointed elbows. Pretty good, pretty good. Now for the waist, he does come with double ball joints, I believe, in this part and in this part. So he just can go a full 360, you know, twist them around. Make sure not to take the bottom stomach part with him. He can look up this high and crouch down that low with, I think it can go a little more. Yeah, that's about it. Now, Lieutenant Titus also has this like weird little cloth piece. It looks pretty dull, but, you know, I'm not about to ruin this figure. This was one of like 3 left at that Walmart. Now, I don't think they're planning on restocking because these things flew off the shelves the first run. And that was the run with like the small pistol and the hammer. It doesn't even come with the bolter. So I can imagine this thing will just be gone like that. Because, you know, people had to 3D print this damn thing and this thing and the small gun. You know, but with all of this just already being in the box for literally the same price as the last one, you know, it's just a good fucking deal. It is just an amazing deal. Now, for the legs, let's put up his skirt. Like Marilyn Monroe. When I think it's Marilyn Monroe. It's too stupid. Now, actually, before I do that, he does have these like weird little flaps, plastic flaps. Oop. Ooh. Is it broken? No, plastic isn't going white, so it's fine. I guess you can just do that. Yeah, so these are kind of just like flimsy plastic. You can, you know, stretch them out. Now, he can do the splits about that far. Did the whatever this version of the split is called about that far. Remove his hand about that far. Now he can also sit down. If you really want him to look all injured, can kind of do that. He can sit down, pretty cool. Now he doesn't have any thigh swivel, so you will just have to like, you know, it's just like this. It's like a finger. If it was broken, you know, you can just do this. You can't go like, pretty much like a finger. Yeah, just a finger. So, you know, he's got a double jointed knee. Like I said earlier, no toe joint, but there is a joint up here somewhere that is just like, it just goes down and up and maybe just a tiny bit side to side. You know, it's just so lackluster. But how can I complain? This thing was literally like $30, which is an absolute steal. It is an absolute steal. Now, Lieutenant Titus here does come with pretty okay detail. Now, let me tell you, this wash that they made for this figure looks so ugly. This looks like I could, like, it looks like faded Sharpie on like a whiteboard. It is very ugly. It is so, like, very ugly. From afar, it looks okay, but when you like have the thing in hand and you look at the shading on this thing, and you're just like, ugh, you know, it looks like they like, especially on the white parts, the shading looks horrible, but everything else looks fine. Now, Lieutenant Titus here does have, I think, like a Well, you know, the ball joint goes in there, so he's kind of fine. Now for the wiggle test. You know, I can't complain. He is $30 and he is pretty heavy. He is a chunky piece of plastic. Every single inch of this is worth it. Now I hate how loose that is. That is pretty loose, you know. I have a feeling that it's just so heavy that it's gonna hurt him eventually. Now he does come with a stand, you know, conventional Warhammer McFarlane style stand, where it's just a peg and a circle. He comes with this card, information, blah 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 blah, Lieutenant Titus. It's got some art on there. Now, about this figure, I had no idea this thing existed. I thought there was only one version of the Lieutenant Titus that McFarlane came out with, and that was the one with the hammer. As we all know, Lieutenant Titus usually just came with like him, a bolter, his backpack, and then there would just be a hammer here. Now, I don't know what version this is, like if he's a Walmart exclusive or something. But you know, I just found him. I went to the collection area. You know, I was originally there for food. And I went to the collector's area and I saw him. I'm like, oh, okay, I'll get him. You know, I don't really have a McFarlane Warhammer figure yet. So I picked him up and then I look at the box and I'm like, huh, where's the hammer that he comes with? But at the same time, he comes with this, and this pistol. So why? I'm not about to complain. So then I bought him and I came home and I looked it up and I just could not find this guy, not even on the McFarlane website. He might just be, you know, sold out absolutely everywhere. But, you know, that's just all I can find. Like, I'm just on the McFarlane website right now. Yet again, sorry about the Ghost of the Goon out there. He's just doing his thing. Yeah, it's the McFarlane Toys Platinum Edition. Lieutenant Titus. Oh, okay. Never mind, he is on the website. I'm just a goober. Okay, it is release date 2024. Okay, so he's just a platinum edition. Never mind, I'm an idiot. Never mind. Scratch that. I'm not about to edit this video to correct myself. This is just a raw. You're getting it raw. You're getting it raw. Was he affected by tariffs? No, he was $27. Tariff rate would make him about like $27. I mean, not 27, $37-ish. But thankfully he was $27. He was at my local Walmart. I'm going to gatekeep that Walmart because unfortunately I'm going to buy these out. I only bought one. There was 4. I'm going to buy them and be like a scummy Pokemon scalper and, you know, sell him secondhand on like Facebook Marketplace or something where I usually sell my figures. Now, is Lieutenant Titus worth your money? Yes, he is absolutely worth your goddamn $30. Why? Because he is very, very nice. Give me a second. Let me go get a Marvel Legend. I got 2 figures. Sorry about the cops. They're ruining my video. The cops. Oh, the cops. Oh, these coppers. Oh, someone's dying. Sorry about that little show. But let me compare him to Marvel Legends. I don't remember this guy's name. He was originally about to be chopped for an Invincible custom, but, you know, I just kind of got too lazy. He's about that tall compared to a average Marvel Legend. Now, another figure that I know everyone has, and, you know, probably got some people into action figure collecting, is Steve. Flint and Steel! Flint and Steel, chicken jockey. You know, it's about a month old, which is crazy. It almost felt like yesterday, but, you know, he's pretty old. He's already old. Now, that's pretty much all the size comparisons that are, like, necessary to compare this guy. You know, everyone's got a Marvel Legend. Everyone has this Steve. I kid you not. This sucker was sold out in my local Target, and I had to go to another Target to buy them because I just could not skip out on this guy. I would be a customizer, but you know, I'm not about to pay $30 for his head in 3D alone. So yeah, bummer. Now, last thing, will you be able to find him? I wish you guys the best of luck. This figure, or this line in general, has been just such a success for McFarlane, because these figures are so cool, and the only other alternative are Joy Toy and SH Figuarts. Now, Joy Toy, they're pretty overpriced for what you get. Joy Toy is way overpriced for what I got. I have the Dreadnought, beautiful figure. I have Lieutenant Titus, pretty small. And then I have Horus, which was my first Joy Toy figure. He is pretty goddamn cool. But Horus is literally this size, and Horus cost me almost $106, while this guy only costed me around $30. Are they relative and fun? Yes, this guy has literally your most, like, any bit of articulation you need for dynamic posing, besides the fact that he doesn't come with extra hands, McFarlane style. You know, he's just perfect to pose. You know, you can just slap on a bolter onto his hand. Although I do have to say they should have made his hands more circular, because it is, like, pretty tricky to get a bolter in there. Like, you know, just display him onto your shelf like that, you know, or put him in like a weirdo dynamic pose where he's just, you know, charging at the camera, you know, Marine style, just, you know, about to pounce on you and absolutely just it's an alien fire. I am Steve, you know, or whatever. I don't care. But he is fun. He is definitely worth your $30. I wish you the best of luck in getting him. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe. I will have more toy reviews coming in the future. I promise. I have so many things pre-ordered. I have like 2 Yamaguchi Titans pre-ordered. I have Zod coming. He's unfortunately at the port. They stopped him at the port. I don't know if any other collector's having this problem, but they're stopping your packages at the port, and for some reason they won't ship them out because you bought them before the tariffs, but now that the tariffs are here, they're just kind of like, there's that stupid situation. But it is what it is. I do hope he pulls up, or else I'll just get a full refund on Zod. But whatever. You know, and happy collecting, even though right now it is a horrible time to collect. But yeah. Subscribe!